It's incredibly difficult to make a profit on EV charging. There are just so many obstacles and challenges that only huge corporate giants like Tesla can make it even half work. And they've just sacked their supercharger team yesterday, so it's not that easy for them either. Unless you have an understanding of the physics and engineering involved, it seems like a piece of cake. Just connect your charging station to the grid and off you go, make money. But when you dive deeper into what's involved, you realise that the infrastructure costs to build the required grid connection are enormous. 10 superchargers operating at 350 kilowatts consumes the same amount of electricity as 500 average homes, or 1,500 kettles. And that's a shitload of kettles. And that's before you deal with the wholesale electricity costs that can render the profits wafer thin or non-existent. No wonder charging companies like Tritium are going belly up. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. Be sure to follow me on the usual socials for more content, links in the description, and there's a code on the screen. Scan that with your phone if you want to sign up for the occasional MGUY email. It'd be great to have you on board. As the Daily Mail reports, Tritium, electric vehicle company praised by Anthony Albanese as a great success, collapses into administration. An electric vehicle charging station company has gone into administration just a year after Anthony Albanese praised it as a great success story. Tritium DCFC and its Australian subsidiaries went into administration on Thursday, a year and 2 weeks after the Prime Minister toured its Brisbane premises and hailed it as the future. The Australian company is also listed on the American Nasdaq Technology Exchange and operates in 42 countries. As the article said, Prime Minister Albanese visited the company in March last year, and given everything he touches turns to shit, they should have been warned of impending collapse.
This company, Tritium, which has grown in a very short period of time to operate in 42 different countries, it is a growing company in one of the growth industries globally that we are seeing. And the capacity that they have to grow further is just extraordinary.
And that's indeed what's happened. What a surprise. But Tritium is now in trouble, with KPMG's Peter Gothard, James Dampney and William Colwell appointed as administrators of Tritium DCFC and its subsidiaries Tritium Holdings, Tritium and Tritium nominees. As administrators, our initial focus will be working with the receivers to secure the assets and stabilise the business operations of Tritium to maximise the outcome for all concerned parties, Mr. Gothard said. And it's not just the corporate challenges that Tritium faced. Unlike relatively simple fuel filling stations, by comparison, EV charging stations are all IT, with apps, smart cards, cellular communications, computers and the like, all of which can go wrong, and in Tritium's case, frequently did. Electric car chargers flawed and faulty ex-Tritium employees. Electric vehicle owners who have recently visited a public charging station and seen faulted or out of service, notice on one, if not all of the chargers are likely to have come across a Tritium charging unit. The Brisbane-based company was one of Australia's biggest success stories, as the manufacturer of electric vehicle chargers deployed all over the world and used by brands such as Tesla, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, ChargeFox and many others. There were a lot of design flaws in the chargers that were mostly ignored. People at the top refused to make the necessary changes, one former employee told Car Expert. New employees were not being trained properly to do the job on the assembly line. That resulted in a lot of mistakes, which set them back. They also neglected consumer feedback and were very reluctant to make necessary changes to please the consumer, another former employee told Car Expert. When they started losing customers and contracts, the panic began, and they started to get rid of employees with very little notice. I had high hopes for the company and wanted to be part of their success. Well, that success just wasn't to be. There are a multitude of other problems as well, such as the theft of copper from the cables, rendering chargers useless, which is pretty easy to do when there's nobody on site to keep an eye out, unlike fuel filling stations. I've done previous videos on charging problems, which I will link in the description. But if anyone with sound business sense looking for an opportunity is offered an EV charging station, they'd be very wise to run away as fast as possible.